What are the rewards that Christians can gain or lose at Christ's judgment seat? Here are just a few. Look at this. In Revelation chapter 3, verse 21, Jesus says, "He who overcomes, I will grant to him to sit down with me on my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne." I'm not even sure we can fathom all that Jesus is implying with these words. But obviously, he's saying that believers can, in some marvelous sense, reign with him if we overcome our problems. Do you have a problem that you're facing? Then you ought to rejoice, because you qualify for gaining the reward of ruling in some measure with Christ someday. You may be facing problems of sickness, finances, temptations of various sorts. We all face problems. And Jesus says if we overcome our problems with his strength, someday he's going to grant us the privilege of reigning with him. The Apostle Paul teaches the same thing in 2 Timothy 2:12. Look at what it says. If we endure, you ever feel like you had a day like that? If we endure, we shall also reign with him. In Revelation 2:26, Jesus says, "He who overcomes and he who keeps my deeds until the end, to him I will give authority over the nations." I tell you all of this so you can realize that if you overcome your problems, they can result in your being granted the privilege of reigning with Jesus Christ in some capacity for all eternity. The second reward the Bible teaches we can gain or lose is the reward of praise and honor that will come from God. Jesus says in John 12:26, "My Father will honor the one who serves me." What is this honor that's mentioned? Well, I like to think of it in this manner. Picture yourself walking up to the judgment seat of Christ to meet Jesus. Behind Christ, who is sitting on his throne, the Father's presence is being manifested in some spectacular way. As you approach the throne of Christ, you're walking in front of all the angels and the people gathered around. And suddenly the Father, in a booming voice, says, "This person faithfully served my Son. I want to honor him." And at that moment, all of heaven knows that you've honored and faithfully served Christ. Maybe that's more imagination than fact. But in some fashion, Jesus does say that the Father will honor the one who serves me. At the same time, Jesus warns us in Matthew 6:1, "Be careful not to do your acts of righteousness before men to be seen by them." Unfortunately, many of us do exactly that. We do our acts of righteousness before men to be seen by them. Is that you? If it is, I want you to notice what Jesus says. If you do your acts of righteousness before men to be seen by them, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. By the way, what reward will you get? The only reward that you're going to get is that you've been noticed by the people you were trying to impress. You know how long that usually lasts. It's far better to serve the Lord, who will not forget you and whose honors and privileges are going to last for all eternity.